How's it going, everybody? This is Shane. I'm here to give you another Digimon Ghost Game episode review recap. Today's episode is episode 10, my long awaited episode, and it is called Game of Death. Now, if I look a bit exasperated, it's because this is my second time doing this, and because my video crapped out, and apparently the recording software I have does not allow me to edit, or else I would have just continued recording elsewhere and just spliced it together. Unfortunately, I don't have that at the moment. So, if you guys know any good software that actually does that, hit me up in the comment section down below. And if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers. Honestly, the ultimate goal is to get to 1,000. But you know what? We're taking it step by step. Let's get to that first 200. Hit the like button. And if you aren't new here, hit the notification bell. Get notified more videos like this. I enjoy doing these, no matter how hard the work is, and no matter how exasperating the episode may be. Now, is this episode exasperating? We will find out in a moment. Because now that I've done this once, I can kind of speed through this a little bit. We already know the intro all the same. Always doing that intro thing with Mummymon, and this time they put in Pumpkinmon. I guess the Mummymon yell is the best thing that we have in terms of playbacks. Well, we are quickly met by a young man who's using a VR headset to play a fighting game. Apparently, the fighting game has a POV perspective, which I found quite interesting. I wonder if we will actually get any comprehensive fighting games that use VR sometime in the near future in 2022, 2023. I sincerely doubt it, but who knows? Anywho, they got 20 wins, and suddenly a being appears before them, challenging them to a fight, and quickly stabs them and defeats them. This reverberates into the real world, shocks this young man, and the young man's asked their name. His name is Arth, which I thought was possibly supposed to be Arthur, but no, it's just Arth. Interesting name. And there's a feminine voice and a masculine voice that overlay, saying that they will remember the name and they take him as their prize. He sucked through the TV, the actually they're playing on PC, through the PC screen. Well, coming up next, we have our boys Kotoro and Hero. Kotoro, he's talking about this game. Coincidentally, the name of this game is, I almost said Street Kingdom. It's called Fighters Kingdom, which is actually a very good name. And if it's not trademarked, someone should probably trademark that name. He's explaining, apparently once you get a certain amount of wins, you meet this female character and, all sorts of cool stuff, blah, 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 blah. Can't tell if he's a weeb that just likes waifus or if he's actually likes the game. Who knows? There's not much context behind this, but it is an interesting setup to get to our main plot. And so as he's talking about this woman, this female character acting all anime, if you will, Kiyoshiro comes up. He says, "Hey, don't talk about stuff like that when you're at the dorms." And dude says sorry, and Hero quickly explains he's just talking about this fighting game. Jellymon, who interesting enough is not invisible, not in that digital form that they can only see with the watches, she comes through the wall and says, "Actually, my darling has been was obsessed with that game up until now." And Gamamon comes out from the side. He is invisible because, of course, they've been learning from Bokumon Sensei, and said, "Yeah, Kiyoshiro is stopped playing it because of the rumors behind it." And while we have Cutie Gamamon trying to get a drink because he really wants a drink, um, Kiyoshiro explains, that people are starting to go missing after a certain amount of wins and fighting this mysterious character. He stopped playing even though he's really, really good at it, actually. He enjoys it, but he's really, really good at it. Kiyoshiro is probably the type that's really good at fighting games. It's nice that this group has a residential gamer, but I digress. Um, as he's explaining what's going on, Kotoro gets his 20 wins, gets that beam of light, gets challenged, and when Kiyoshiro says, "Make sure you don't play that game, Hero. You don't play, right?" And Hero says, "No, Kotoro does, though." And Kiyoshiro wants to rush to that dorm room to make sure he doesn't play, but it's far too late. They hear him get shocked. They can't get into the dorm room. And interesting thing about the dorm room, it has handprint recognition. It recognizes handprints, and if you can't do it that way, there's a code. But Kiyoshiro can't figure out the code, but no one notices, and this is the second or third time this has happened, that Gamamon is able to, he gets the little digital lines in his eyes and he can unlock doors. I don't even know if he knows that he's doing it, but he unlocked the door and they get in there right enough time for Hero to hear the feminine and masculine voice call out to him, suck him into the game, and that is that. And of course, we get our new catchphrase from Kirishiro, which I don't remember the literal words they were saying in Japanese, but it was translated to saying integer overload or something like that. And he passes out. Uh, Hero's talking to Ruli about all this. They're trying to find information. His friends log on and username is just wiped and it's gone. And the whole time Gamamon is poking at Kirishiro saying the integer overload thing, which to once Angoramon is asking, why does he keep saying that? Jellymon explains that it's a thing that Kirishiro says once his fear levels have gone to the max and they overflow and the thing happens that she calls limit break. But this time when she starts up the game, Kirishiro just hides like a wimp and a coward. He wakes up and hides. He doesn't have the desired effect that Jellymon is looking for, but Jellymon looks pretty disappointed. Next up, Bokumon sends a text message to Hero. They meet at a library that is fairly close to Hero's dorm because Bokumon has read all the books in the last library according to Bakumon. They do bring Gamamon some chocolate treats, his Psycho treats, if you will. He's still adorable, but I roll my eyes when I hear Psycho. Um, When asked, do they know anything about it, Pokemon doesn't doesn't can't really fathom this. But then Bagumon does make note and say that it might. You said you heard a feminine and masculine voice. Could be King Kakumon and Ginkakumon. He ran into the both of them while eating up some bad data in another game. Now this is King Kakumon, and let me just get to some very dumb fan art there. And this is Genkakumon. Of course, this thing zooms in. Look at that. Notice a little cockpit right there. So, I am not going to read all over again what I read before. I'm just going to paraphrase. They are literally called the Gold and Silver Oni brothers. They are literally based on the gold and silver spirits and yokai Oni demons. Kinkaku and Genkaku have shown up in Gintama, Naruto, um, actually, and if you pay attention to my Yashahime reviews, there was a Gintama and Kingtama last year that the girls had to fight because they were connected to one another. There's been various creatures, characters that have used these names, and they are deep. This is deep in Japanese folklore. So the big sister is the one with the club. The little brother is the giant one that has a cockpit that can actually be. She gets in and gives him more power. This does not happen actually. As a matter of fact, their whole encyclopedia thing, because they're both champions. I thought last week these were Mega Digimon. Excuse me, just because of how they look. As both of these Digimon first showed up in the online card game Digimon Crusade. Never made it to the States, I don't believe. So a lot of these Digimons are finally getting forms, or they're finally being shown again. And interesting to note, you notice that helmet. Well, it's funny when several female Digimon have the alluring bodies, but then they have these odd helmets. A helmet kind of looks like a War Greymon helmet, doesn't it? But I digress. So Angoramon gives us a little bit more background and heard the rumor that anything that gets sucked into this giant gourd, I don't remember the exact Japanese name for it. I don't feel like looking it up, guys. I'm sorry. But the gourd that Genkakumon uses, any Digimon or anything that gets sucked in there gets turned into liquor. And we do see a glimpse of all of its victims inside of this gourd, and ones and zeros are fading off of them. Once you turn the liquor, they cannot turn them back. And Hero is desperate to find a way how to solve this because even Pokemon can't find a way of finding someone online on the internet. And then Kirishiro thinks back. Sorry, Hero thinks back to Kirishiro saying he's really good at the game and he was winning very well into the rumor. And remembering what his friend Kotoro was saying about the number of wins until you get there. So of course he convinces him to join to do the battle, but not directly. It takes Jellymon, who again she had originally said if we can't find out anything, he should fight. And of course, Kiyoshiro is like no. But once they get back to the dorm, the four of them, Jellymon, Gaomon, Hiro, and Kiyoshiro, she grabs him by the face and says, "Look, darling, you're the dorm leader. You're in charge of these guys. It's up to you to save him." And this fires him up, and he's like, "You know what? I'll do it." Fires up the game. Somehow, Ruli, Bokomon, and Angormon can watch all this on the tablet. That's really good technology. And he's kicking butt. Now, his first match, it did get the attention of King Kakumon and King Kakumon. That's very Deus Ex, but you know what? I'll take it just to move the plot along. And so he's kicking butt. He gets to the 21s very easily. This Fighter's Kingdom is easily a knockoff of Street Fighter because we get fake E Honda. I saw fake Guile, knockoff Guile. It's fine, but you know, if you're a fighting game person, you pick up a lot of these things. You pick up these things easily, as a matter of fact. So, and he's just a stick. He's a fighter stick. I find it. I like that too. Anyway, King Kakumon shows up with King Kakumon behind her. He's of course massive in comparison to her. Coincidentally, he controls his sister with a fight pad. But what happens is Jellymon uses her tentacle, turns into a USB, inserts herself into the game, and says, "Darling, I'll be mad at you if you lose." Because now it is his turn to use her to fight. Fight looks pretty even at first. They're doing a pretty good job until Jellymon is on the ropes. And when King Kakumon is like, "All right, it's time to end this," somehow Kiyoshiro was able to judge the distance of the attack without having seen it do it before, but he was able to judge it. They counter with a spiral kick, and they're doing a good job. Of course, the Gamamon is saying cute things like they want to play, "Are you winning?" Blah, 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 blah. And they're doing such a good job that both King Hakumon and Genkakumon want to meet the guy that they're fighting. Well, once King Hakumon gets half of her arm and half of her torso out, uh, our guy Kiyoshiro taps the little button to bring them to what I call the digital upside down. Because now this digital dorm room once again is destroyed. Nothing's going to happen in the real world, but I find it interesting that this digital area that's not the digital world, things seem to repair themselves, or is someone out there repairing it? Hope there's an episode about that. I digress. It's time to fight these guys. And Jellymon this time is getting her butt kicked. King Kakumon, and actually, she's getting her butt kicked because dumb Kiyoshiro has another integer overload, or whatever he wants to call it, and faints. Which leads to King Hakumon talking trash about him, while she's going to try to take care of her electric rival because they both do electric attacks. It's very nice and very on point. Hiro is going to, him and Gamamon are going to try to get that gourd. And just like Agumon did with Taichi in most of the Digimon shows, where it says Taichi's name, which is a signal to Digivolve, or Evolve, if you will, Gamamon does the same thing, turns into Betel Gamamon, does the sorbet shot, but even though he can get through King Kakumon's legs and get behind him, somehow he's just too big and too fast and turns around and the attack does nothing. Like, King Kakumon does not attack. He's just there. He does not attack in this. It is interesting to note that when they were picking up the speed in the fighting game, he turned that 6-button fight stick into a 20-button fight stick. So he's down for some cheating. But I digress. Uh, oops. I digress. So Jellymon's getting her butt kicked. She's reaching out to Kiyoshiro, saying, "Get up," tears in her eyes, legitimate tears in her eyes, saying she'll tell them the secret behind that wrapped arm. She'll throw away his favorite stuff. All these things that try to get him up. Her tentacle gets stomped on by King Kakumon. Has that giant Kanba, that's the name of the spike mace they have. It's called Kanba. Kanba. Ready to just hurt. That's one of her main attacks, just pummeling their opponent with it. And as Jellymon reaches with the other tentacle, electricity is coursing through her, coursing through King Kakumon. She calls him by his full name and tells him to get his butt up and shocks him. And he wakes up and looks real cool. You know, the blast sent King Hakuman, gave them a little bit of distance, and he says it's time for max level. They both say level break, which leads to the evolution. Now, before I show you the evolution, which she's right there, I wish I could just blow up that image. Um, Kind of disappointed with this moment. This moment's supposed to be cool, but things get overshadowed when you have a character that's like always like whimpering. We saw the Max Integer thing earlier, which I guess was supposed to be a misnomer saying, hey, well, Jellymon saw him do something cool when he said this before. This time around, he's just kind of like limply flailing and stuff. I sincerely wish 3 episodes ago he would have said this and had this moment where he just kind of passed out. And then now we lead up and we find out what it means. And then she says, yeah, he does something really cool sometimes. Then it would have been interesting because I don't know. I don't know. This moment feels kind of flat, but I will show you. Boop. That is Tesla Jellymon. We see her in the intro already. Um, we see her and we see in Goremon's evolution the Speedy Bunny Rabbit, which is probably coming next week. And I already knew these forms were coming because, hey, Bandai showed us in the encyclopedia their ultimate forms. And Tesla Jellymon's ultimate form, I think it's called Princess Jellymon, looks really cool. I enjoy it. It looks great. While Goremon is turning into a nasty looking harpy thing, going from refined beast to a literal beast, kind of like Hank McCoy and the X Men. But this is the adult form of Jellymon. You know, it normally evolves through absorbing data from combat sports like steel cage death matches while looking for stimulation and pleasure through these battles. Its electric shock techniques have been further enhanced by using karate moves and wrestling moves. I said in the broken video that I sincerely hope she does a muscle buster. I, Give me some ultimate muscle and some what's it Kinikuman. A lot of K words today. Give me some Kinikuman stuff with a muscle buster. Oh, she will be my favorite Digimon. Actually, this is the best representation of Jellymon in an episode to date. She's not been annoying. I really hope she stays like this. So anyway, she does a move called the Facilis, which is actually named after the Man of War. Just a giant. She does a giant electric punch, and she says a lot of quips. Like she's dusts herself off, saying that King Kakuman got her dirty because King Kakuman's trying to hit her and trying to get her, but she's dodging it and she's dusting herself off, even dust off her butt a little bit, and she says these funny quips. And when it comes time for the final blow, she does that electric punch, and it defeats King Kakuman. To which she says, "Does peace sign? Game over." And of course, they are true to their word as they all go back to the real world, which Angormon and Ruli did get to see this because Angormon flew them over from the digital world, from the digital place wherever they were to the digital broken dorm room to see the evolution. Everybody saw it. Um, they're going to keep up their end of the bargain. They open up the gourd, release everyone. Gen Kagumon is sad he didn't get a sip. But Bokomon, who is now in Kiroshiro's dorm as well, tells him, you really don't have to do that. There are places that sell booze now. He's like, what? Like, yeah. And Hiro even offers to give him some of his father's stash if he just decides to be good. And King Hagumon, she goes, don't think this is over. I'm here because I want tons of good battles. And you, Jellymon, I will end up challenging you again. Jellymon says, me and my darling would definitely take you on. To which, of course, he's the coward guy, so he goes, why does it have to be me? And that's the end of our episode. Our next episode is going to be Kamitachi, which is the wind speed weasel. Anybody here watch Naruto? Remember Tamari's fan summon? The weasel with the sickle? That's actually another Japanese yokai. Which will more I've seen what the tail looks like. I think I raised one of these Digimon on here before. Can't remember its name, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad they're showing more and more different Digimon than the ones people are used to seeing. But yeah, this episode gets a 4. I'm giving it a 4 because we got an evolution. Now, they're still doing the thing where they're befriending Digimon and not necessarily destroying them. I guess they're going to set up somewhere down the line that they're going to have to destroy Digimon. Then they're all going to feel like, oh, I wish we didn't have to do that. And that's going to take Angoramon going, by the way, we come back as eggs. Or it's going to take Pokemon going, like, by the way, we come back as eggs. So don't even worry about it. There's a hatchery somewhere. Eventually, they got to find out the mystery of Black Tailmon with the hat and the hoodie. Oh, I love the hoodie with the backpack. They got to find out the where his dad has gone. I hope we don't get like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 deal with his dad, where his dad was the villain all along, or becomes taken over by some giant digital entity. I can do without repeat plots because I think that happened in Digimon, not Digimon Savers, but that's happened already. We can do better than that, Digimon. But yeah, I give it a 4 because I enjoyed Jellymon in this episode. I enjoyed Tesla Jellymon as well. I as much as I love Dinosaur and Dragon Digimon, and I think Gamamon is freaking adorable with his little scarf in the wintertime. This Jellymon, the one that's slightly teasing and does the darling thing, I like that one. I don't like the one. I don't like Jellymon that gets them into trouble. I can do without that. We already have Dracumon somewhere out there that's going to be doing that crap. We don't need someone on our team doing it. And kudos, once again, for giving the male character the feminine Digimon. It's about damn time it's happened. Hopefully, when you do another season after this, which I'm going to assume that Ghost Game will probably run for like another year, probably until 2023, depending on how good it does. I sincerely hope you do more stuff like that. I also hope that with Kotoro being involved with all this, you're gonna have to have more kids with digivices. You know that, right? They're not even called tamers at this point. They just have partners. He's gonna have a partner sooner or later. Probably one that isn't. It's either gonna be a Digimon that matches his dim headedness. Trying not to call him stupid. Someone that matches his IQ and his presence. We already have Angoramon, who's the analytical one. So we gotta have something that matches him. Maybe he'll get a cool silent type Digimon, one that's actually silent. Now, what I didn't cover is we did get another poem from Angoramon, which says, when they engaged in fisticuffs, there were sounds of jellyfish blooming. The booze drinker got nothing. And even Ruli's like, I don't know what you're talking about as he flies her back home. Does no one realize that this dude's just saying poems? I don't know the syllables for like haiku. I said this last week. It's probably not a haiku. But guys, he's been doing poems ever since he showed up. Someone make note of it. Please. Anyway, that's a 4 out of 5 for me. Please let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. We're at the 10th episode now, and it's really scary how I can predict when certain things are picking up. Because now we're gonna next episode we're gonna get evolution. We're probably gonna have more fights. Please don't be episode 20. We'll probably be episode 20 when we get ultimate levels, which is fine, but please give me more even fights like this, champions versus champions. I love the whole electric King Hakumon versus electric Tesla Jellymon. I need more stuff like that. And even then, give me a big boss champion, right? That has a bunch of minions, because we've already established that Gamamon can switch into different forms. Come on, we got that one. We got the Tricera Railgun left. As always, guys, hit me up with the like. I definitely appreciate it. Comment what you thought in the comment section right there. Subscribe if you're not subscribed here. Hit the notification bell right there if you are subscribed here to get notified of more Digimon videos like this. Share the video so others can not understand, but can see what a great time we're having. As always, I am thankful for you taking time out to spend time with me. As always, be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, take care of yourselves, please. Be good to yourself and be good to others. Either way it goes, don't be a jerk, and I will most definitely see you guys next time.